Yo, this is Seventh Dan. You're watching MPC Mind Power Composition, brought to you by Rings of Saturn in association with Wordplay Magazine, supported by Less Effort Clothing. Over the coming months, you're going to get an insight into the hip hop production world, all that good gritty stuff, techniques, interviews, backgrounds, you know what I mean? So stay locked for some good food for your headpiece. Musical influences and backgrounds. Start with background. Come from a musical family. My dad was a soul singer, songwriter, producer, very eclectic musical taste, so I was around music from a very young age. You know, I went to studio a few times with him, see him go through the whole process of putting a song together. And he was always jamming indoors, guitar playing, keyboard playing, singing, you know. One morning you'd wake up, you'd be hearing like, so I don't know, like some Beethoven. Next morning it'd be some mad, like Cajun folk music. So background wise, yeah, there's always been music in my life from the seed. Musical influences, first and foremost, definitely my dad. He introduced me to a lot of my favourite artists, a lot of jazz stuff, a lot of soul stuff, you know, trip hop, stuff like that. Main influences though, on a hip hop flex, I'd say it'd definitely be people like DJ Muggs, RZA, Abbott, True Master, you know, over here Parker, Harry Love, seeing people like that, like when I first began to Kung Fu back in the day, and seeing how live the scene was over here, that was a massive influence for me. And the quality of the music as well, do you know what I mean? Prior to that, I hadn't really been exposed to too much UK hip hop. I didn't really know it existed. Not that it not existed, but you know, that it wasn't as about as it was, if that makes sense. Other influences, artist-wise, Tricky, people like Tricky, Portishead, massive influence on me and definitely on my sound. Wu-Tang, Cypress Hill, Mobb Deep, and other stuff as well. Growing up, like I said, there was a lot of different music going through my house. You know, there was stuff. I used to, you know, as a younger teen, I was into more like metal stuff, rock stuff, people like Nirvana. Yeah, man, that's probably my main influences, really. First bit of equipment I picked up was, the first serious bit of equipment I picked up was an Akai S950. A good friend of the family who was obviously making music at the time, he was upgrading his studio, and he lived out in the sticks, and out in the sticks they couldn't come by certain things, so I went down, basically we done a swap in it, and I ended up with an Akai S950. That was the first piece of, you know, sample equipment. Prior to that, it was, you know, a few Casio keyboards and stuff like that, just messing about. But I got an S950. I got the old Amstrad tape deck. People probably know the one with the paper sliders on it and the dodgy turntable. Some little 4-channel mixer, which was just for like jack inputs. Yeah, that was my first shit, man, and I literally played that shit until it blew up. It literally blew the fuck up. But yeah, that was my first piece of equipment, man. Was I shown the ropes? No, I wasn't shown the ropes. Not when it comes down to, you know, the more technical side of it. I was shown the ropes in a way by my dad through watching him, you know, rap songs in the yard and stuff like that. As far as technical stuff goes, definitely not. I wasn't shown the ropes. I did a little, like an introduction course. Like most people will tell you to do this shit. I did a little introduction course one day a week. Went on to do the proper kind of diploma or whatever it was. Turned out to be a big load of shit. So I left that and just went back, and it was mainly self-study, just trial and error. Seeing how much I could push, like I was saying with a 950, how much I could get out of that. Yeah, so no, definitely wasn't shown the ropes. It was all self-taught. At the time, there was a magazine still out now, Computer Music. At the time, they had a lot more information in there as to techniques about how to get you know, certain things out of your equipment, which was really handy at the time. So that did help a lot. Aside from that, I was lucky enough to be around people that were running recording studios as well. I kind of got a little insight from there. Not much, but to be honest, most of it was just me in my loft for days and days and days on end, just, you know, trying to get the most out of it. So yeah, self-taught. How did I acquire my first piece? It was a swap for, let's just say broccoli, some broccoli. It was my good family friend out in the sticks. There was no decent broccoli, there was only turnips, and it was really rubbish turnips. So yeah, it was a swap, basically. Yeah. How did I find the learning curve? To be honest, I took to it quite quickly, because me personally, I'm quite technical minded. I'll pick things up quite quickly like that. So it didn't take me long, man. Like, it's one of them things, you know, if I want to get something to work, I want to get a certain sound out of something, I'm just going to bang it out until I get it. I didn't find it that hard at all, to be honest. That was with the 950, and obviously when it went on to stuff like, you know, more audio engineering stuff, Reason, Cubase, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I just enjoyed it so much that it came naturally, you know. I didn't find it as a chore to, like, I wanted to know how do I get that snare to sound like that? How do I get that kick, like, sounded like you're kicking your dad in the face sort of thing, you know what I mean? That was like, I was practically living for that. So yeah, it wasn't a learning, it was enjoyable. So definitely wasn't steepening. How long did it take me to master the 950? It didn't really take me long, to be honest, because one, I was on it constantly, and two, there's not much to it. There's little tips and tricks, little shortcuts you can do and stuff to kind of get the most out of your sample time, because you don't get a lot. I think we had between 9 and 11 seconds worth of sample time, so it didn't really take me that long to master, you know, the 950. Do I still own it? Unfortunately, I don't. It blew up. It literally blew up, and it did sit in my yard for a very long time, gathering dust, and I've kicked myself for it now, but I sold it to someone come around and go, oh, 950. At the time, I was a bit ignorant to that. I was just like, by then I had a 5000, S5000, and I didn't really appreciate the true value of the 950. I mean, I love the sound of it. The sound of it was amazing, you know, the gritty sound, but yeah, I don't own it, unfortunately. I wish I could get it back, but there you go. Shit. Do I feel it was the right piece of gear to get me to where I am now? 100%, definitely. Because reasons for that being the sound of it. The sound was very gritty. I think it was 12-bit. I could be wrong. Probably gonna get cussed out for that, but yeah, the sound of it was ideal for the sort of music that I wanted to make at the time. Definitely the right piece of equipment for me. Definitely the low pass filter and just the gritty. Put the drums into it, and the way they come out of it, they just got this lovely kind of crunchiness to it. So it was definitely the right start for me, because my music, I like certain sounds to my music, and the 950, you know, getting used to that sound for however long I had it, definitely kind of shaped my future production and stuff like that. So what equipment do I use nowadays? Nowadays, mainly I'm using Reason 5, Cubase for audio recording. I also use the machine as well, the software on the machine as well. Mainly use Reason. It's just something that when I went on from hardware to software, it was just an easy transition, do you know what I mean? I found it a lot quicker to get stuff going in Reason, and using SoundForge as well, as opposed to the S5000 I was using at the same time. So yeah, Reason, SoundForge, Cubase. I do mess with Logic sometimes, it's not really my chosen thing, and Machine. I think it's 2.0 that we're using, but yeah, that's my chosen stuff then at the moment. What have I used over the years? Started with the 950, went on to the S5000, which was good, man. That was a good sampler. I did like that a lot. I played with that for ages. Following that, hardware-wise, the machine. But to be honest, from the S5000, I've been more software-based, to be honest. I mean, I know a lot of people love analog gear. I do love analog gear, but for me, I can get the sound that I want from software, from Reason, by utilising samples a certain way and doing certain things to them. I can achieve, I feel that I can achieve, you know, a hardware sort of sound. So yeah, me, I'm mainly software based. Do I prefer hardware or software? I prefer software, just because I can work stupidly quickly in software. With Reason, SoundForge, them two, I can get shit going very quick, and I don't feel that I'm losing any of the benefits of certain hardware. Like, obviously, certain hardware has a certain sound to it, which you can't really recreate. I don't give a fuck what sort of emulators you're using and stuff. Certain things sound a certain way because they're analog, you know what I mean? There are things that are very close to it, but yeah, I'm software based. I mean, I use Machine, but still that's not really hardware, it's just pads to trigger up software. If I had access to certain hardware, I definitely use it. I mean, I use certain hardware, like I use the Avalon for vocals, the B5 Avalon, I use that for vocals. If you can put that in, I suppose that's hardware. Time to time I may run drums through an MPC. I think we've got a 2000, is it a 2000? Yeah, it's a 2000 XL. If I'm not happy with the way the drums are sounding, then I will run it through. Excuse me, I will run it through the 2000. But yeah, that's that. Favourite brand of musical equipment? I'd have to say Akai, just because everything I've used are theirs. I've only had two, the 950 and the 5000. And the 2000 XL MPC. Yeah, Akai, 100%, definitely Akai. Just because the sound from the older equipment, yeah, it's nice, man. I've never had the opportunity to mess about with any of the other kind of classic samples, so Akai all the way for me. What I recommend to a beginner? I'd say, for someone starting off now, I'd say the Machine actually at the moment, because you've got that aspect of having the pads there, you know, like an MPC, and you've got the software as well where you can drag certain plugins through it and do certain things. So yeah, I'd say the Machine would be a good starting point. It's not too complex either. It's not, yeah, it's not complex. I don't think it's complex at all. I'd say that. Software-wise, I'd say Reason again. Reason and SoundForge all the way, man. But yeah, Machine for someone starting off. Machine or just a paint pot and a stick. Why did I choose software over hardware? The reason being, I was using the S5000 at the time. Had no problem with it at all. A friend of mine said, oh, I'm using this program called Reason, blah blah blah. He showed it to me and I was just instantly hooked. For me, it's just quick. I can get stuff going quick. SoundForge and Reason together, for me, is the best combo, because it's easier. I mean, I know hardware stuff does have visual, you know, screens where you can move your sliders and chop chop chop, but for me, it's quick. I can just go marker, 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 chop chop chop, done, into Reason within like 5 minutes, and then I'm cooking, rather than sitting with, you know, like the 5000 and scroll. It's a quicker process for me. I like to get things, you know, I just like to get stuff moving quickly. So yeah, that's right. My views on sampling are, do it, do you know what I'm saying? Like, hip hop was built off of sampling. Like, I mean, me personally, I'm not one to take a 4-bar loop and put some drums on it. I don't, if you want to do it, but personally, I just don't feel it. I don't like, oh, it's a soul loop, take a soul loop, put some drums on it. Like, it does work with certain things, I'm not gonna say it doesn't, certain shit does sound banging like that, but I prefer to chop up lots of little things and, you know, from different tunes and stuff like that. I'm not really too into loops as such, but sampling, I think, yeah man, so all day man, that's all my stuff sampled, do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I play bass and stuff like that, but for me, there is nothing like finding a vinyl that's crusty ass vinyl, some fucking mad Albanian village folk music, woman singing like some painful shit, do you know what I mean? And chopping it up and doing something with it. To me, there's nothing like it. So yeah, sampling is a massive part of my production process, and probably a massive part of my life. I'm just constantly listening, do you know what I mean? So yeah, love sampling, man. Which kind of music do I find myself sampling the most? Where? It's quite hard. There's not really one, I wouldn't say there's one type or one genre of music that I sample the most. The sort of stuff I kind of dig for is just anything crusty, really. Anything that's anything that sounds like it's come from an honest place. Do you know what I'm saying? Like kind of painful sounding stuff, if that makes any sense. I don't really, some people love sampling soul, just soul. I don't do that. I like to mix it up, you know, like I like a lot of what can I say? You know, maybe foreign, if that's the right word, foreign stuff. Village music, I suppose, would probably be the stuff that I sample the most. Just kind of obscure shit that's come out of the fucking village, really. Do you know what I mean? Just stuff that's, yeah, just obscure stuff, I suppose. Stuff that you wouldn't, you know, stuff you're not going to find in the shop or on Amazon or, you know, down the high street. Do I share my sample info? I do share it, but only with certain people. Only with people that I work closely with. And that's not me being a dick or nothing like that, but people that I build with, people like Rings of Saturn, you know, my brother. Obviously, it's like, if I find something nice, I'm gonna send it to them as well. Do you know what I mean? Because we're building together. But generally, no, it's not something that people say, oh, where'd you get that from? Well, I say, I got it from here. Like, whatever, innit? Like, go do something with it. If you want, it doesn't really bother me. But nah, generally, no, it's not something that I'd advertise. Do you know what I mean? It's yeah. Half the time, to be honest, I can't remember what I've sampled either. So you probably have a good job trying to get me to tell you where I got shit from. Yeah. How do I acquire my samples? Previous years was just straight vinyl stuff. Nowadays, I go YouTube digging as well, or there's a few blogs. Yeah, YouTube digging is one of my favourite things. I'm not gonna front. I mean, I'll find it on YouTube and then try and find a zip of the original. If someone's got an original rip of it to kind of retain the way it was recorded, you know, like the stereo, the panning and stuff like that, can make a huge difference. But yeah, vinyl, I still dig for vinyl when I have the time, but mainly it is YouTube, blogs, and just doing a bit of online research, man. My favourite sampler, I'll still say the 950 because it's got a special place in my heart, fam, you get me? This was my first shit, so 950 all the way. Favourite software, Reason Machine samples will be easy, and the reason why is because SoundForge, I can just get shit going, chop, really fast. It's got some good tools in it as well for sample manipulation, pitch shifting, and you can really, you can get right into a piece of audio with SoundForge, right down to the right nitty gritty and edit certain things out. It's a very good editor, SoundForge. Reason for me, ease of use. Sampler, bang, put sampler in, drum machine, just quick. Cubase, obviously, for recording vocals. and also further, you know, mix downs and stuff like that. I do my mix downs in Cubase. Utilising using the Waves suite, the Waves Complete suite is one of my favourite preferred things to turn to. Yeah, and the machine software as well. I think the machine software is ill. I think it's ill. The fact that you can bring all your plugins through the machine software as well, and you've got little AirPods and things like the emulators, which, you know, some of them do sound. They're not like, you know, obviously they're not the original shit, but they can give things a nice added feel. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my favourite software. Do I focus on more drums or samples? I would. Well, that's quite hard actually. For me, for me, the sample is the thing that always kicks off the idea in my head. I spent a lot of time kind of perfecting my drums, getting my drums to a certain level, finding the right samples, the right compression methods, distortion, EQ, all that sort of stuff. So drums is something that I spent a hell of a lot of time perfecting. Sampling, sample-wise, I'll hear something and straight away, bang, I haven't really got to fuck with it too much. Maybe some EQ here and there to sort out dodgy frequencies or whatever, but yeah, so yeah, I spent a lot of time perfecting the drums. So I got my drums to a level now where I know if I hear the sample, I've got my certain kit, my personal shit there, I know the drums, I'm not really got to worry about too tough. So yeah, I think I focus definitely more on the sample. The sample is what kind of forms the whole thought process of the song. Best MPC to my knowledge, I'm not really an MPC user. Got nothing against MPCs, they're fucking ill, but I'm just a bit more software based. I don't know, I like the I mean, we've got a 2000 here. I like the 2000, I do like the sound of it, so I'm going to go for that. I haven't had experience with any of the older, more classic models, so I can't even talk on that. But yeah, 2000. Current day, I don't know, man. If the machine comes into that category, then, excuse me, I'd say the machine, definitely, just for the ease of use and the, you know, the integration with the software and stuff like that. So, dentees. Two favourite instruments. Cello. I love the cello. When a cello's played right, I think it's an instrument that can convey a lot of emotion, a lot of, you know, kind of honest emotion, a lot of pain and stuff like that. The cello, or the duduk as well, which is a lovely sounding instrument. And piano. I like piano. I do like piano. Pianos, you know, electronic pianos, Rhodes, stuff like that. So yeah, strings and piano. It's a bit, you know, most people will say string and piano, but it is string and piano. And I like the triangle as well. Man can play the triangle. I can't really, well, I can't really play. I can play keys to an extent where, you know, I can find out the key that something's in. I've got an ear for that, you know. I can't play the keyboard as in stand up and play you know, a song, and do a sing, stuff like that. But yeah, I can play the keyboard to an extent. Yeah, so that's that. Right, if I could choose two producers to have on the joint with me, the first one would be Adrian Newby from Portishead, 100%. Reason behind that being the Portishead albums. When my dad first showed me Dummy, it literally blew me away. I was just like, I couldn't, you know, just the grittiness of it, the hip hop aspects of it, with Beth Gibbons, you know, vocals, and it just completely blew my face off. Adrian Newby, because of the Portishead work, because of his hip hop work as well, with, you know, people like the Quakers group. The dude's just got an ill ear. You know what I'm saying, for breaks and for composing, for putting stuff together. That shit just resonates with me 100%, you know what I mean? So Adrian Newby, or Jeff Barrows, like either one of them two dudes are fucking ill. But more Adrian, I think, because of the hip hop aspect. And I'm gonna say RZA, because he's one of my favourite producers. The Wu-Tang sound, another massive influence for me. It was another thing that when I first heard it, it just resonated with me on a different level, you know what I mean? The kind of soulful aspect of it, but the dark aspect of it as well. Yeah, and his music, you know what I'm saying, them two producers there, their music has been a constant throughout most of my adult life. And it's, you know, music that's kind of got me through shit, got me through hard times, stuff like that. Very personal stuff, like very personal to me, certain songs, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, them two, Adrian Newtley and RZA. If I could choose two MCs to work with right at this moment here, because it's something that is always changing, I'd say Car, Feeling Car from Brownsville. Car is ill. I love the way the way he puts shit down, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of shorthand, slang stuff, paints visuals quick. I like the tone as well. Car and I'm gonna say Hellraiser. I'm a big fan of Hellraiser music. So yeah, Car and Hellraiser, man. Okay, top three producers besides the two I mentioned earlier. Hard one. Right, I'll say Havoc for his early work, the early Mobb Deep stuff, just because of the grittiness of it. You know, it's just straight, screw your face up, kick a passing dog over the fence to your music. DJ Muggs, 100% DJ Muggs, a massive influence on me. That was one of the first producers I was kind of introduced to through the Cypress Hill albums. I remember my friend come back from holiday with Black Sunday, and I was just like, oh, like, what is this? And then Temples of Boom dropped, and yeah, that shit was crazy, that was mad. So Muggs, Havoc, who else? Let me think. Probably say someone like,
I wonder if you're as good as they say you are.
I'm gonna say True Master, because every joint that True Master has done on Wu projects are straight bangers. Just check the listings on Forever and albums after that. You know, I found personally when I went to look up certain joints, I was like, that's ill. Thinking it was RZA, it turned out to be True Master. True Master's sound, fucking hard, just bangs every time it just bangs. The bass is nuts. The dark aspect of it, also the kind of soul aspect of it. So yeah, that's my top three. Who am I feeling right now? Who am I feeling right now? Damn. Right, MC wise, feeling Car, Rock Marciano, Westside Gunn. You know, the whole of Triple Darkness, Capo. Yeah, they don't want to come to mind at the moment. That's what I've been listening to mainly. Producer-wise. Sam Zircon, Moriarty, Rings of Saturn. Who else? Yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna stick with them for now. That's what I've been bumping lately. So there is more. Don't get me wrong. Like there is more, but they just don't come to mind at the moment, and it's not because they're shit. This first joint is called Sulphur. Let me play it for you. Inspiration for this joint, I wanted to do something that had like a kind of a big switch in it, like a change up, do you know what I'm saying? The samples, they're a mix of, the initial sample when it drops is from, I believe it's from like a Russian jazz funk sort of record, like kind of like a stringy sort of thing, you know what I'm saying? Drums, just my usual stock drums, you know what I'm saying, like heavy kick, nice cracking snare. I've got some, underneath it I've got like a sort of distorted echoey voice going backwards and forwards to give it some grit. I've got a whole heap of crackle up in there as well. This bit obviously is a switch for the strings. Strings were taken from, I think it might have actually been the same record, the same Russian jazz funk sort of record thing. But yeah, this is Sulphur. called Shinigami. The word means it's like a collection of Japanese death gods. You know, so the inspiration for this was to have something that's kind of haunting, but when it drops, kind of like kicks you in your fucking head. You know what I'm saying? Samples from this are from a Japanese record, kind of funk, soul, weird sort of thing. Also, there's a bit of Beth Gibbons vocal in there. Drums, just my usual stock drums, nice and snappy, heavy kicks. It's got a real heavy bass line on it because I like bass in it. Yeah. This is going to be this is forthcoming on a project with Cyrus Malachi and Lone Ninja. So yeah, this is Shinigami. This joint is called Flesh Wound. Let me play it for you. The idea behind this, I wanted something kind of more slow tempo, kind of really muddy, murky sounding. The samples are taken from a record which the dude's playing the duduk, which I believe is a string instrument, I could be wrong, but it has this real nice kind of dark feel to it, you know what I'm saying? When it's played right, kind of like a cello, it conveys a real kind of edgy emotion, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted the joint to kind of be like, sort of make you feel a bit edgy, like you're para, like you've been up all night doing something you should have, but it's 6 in the morning and you're like looking at your window, you know what I'm saying? Or to kind of be like that. This is going to be used for a project I'm doing with my brother Johnny Daya. The drums, my usual kind of stock drums, but wanted to have a real snappy snare in this one. And the kick's very, very powerful, very like sub-low kick. So when you hear it like in a dance or whatever, it's real pumping, like some, you know, dude up in a mountain banging a big drum or some shit. But yeah, this is Flesh Wound, man. It's just a working title, HL1. This was kind of made, did a set down at Higher Learning. Shouts out to Manage. This was made specifically for that, for the cypher. I wanted something that MCs, you know, could batter basically. So I wanted to make kind of something banging. So let me play this to you. That sample there is like some sort of test tone from a, can't remember what machine it is, but anyway. Kind of resampled it a few times to get it gritty, whacked a load of crackle over it, used a combination of like a clap snare and a metallic snare on it. The main sample is a string, which I can't remember where I got, but to that I kind of added some distortion, compressed it real hard, brought out all the low end on it. As you can hear there where it drops in, you've got a real heavy sub bass on it. Also here you've got like a little vocal sample. I mean, it kind of like brings it up a little bit, brings a good track for a cypher, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it was built for originally. Oh yeah, also here you've got kind of like an organy string thing, you know what I'm saying? Switch it up a little bit. But yeah, this is HL1, man. This next joint is called The Fish of Life because, true say, I love fishes and I like life as well. So that's why it's called Fish of Life. This originally was made for Iron Braids to be used on Global Sports 2. I'm not too sure if it's made it or not, I'll find out. But it's something a little bit slower, kind of like atmosphere in the background. It's like you've got like the sounds of, kind of like a river, do you know what I'm saying? Like man's doing a fish in it, yeah. But yeah, usual stuff, crackle, heavy drums. Not really got a bass line on this one. I wanted it to be more about the vocal, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is The Fish of Life. Fish. This joint's called Amaterasu. The name's taken from Naruto. One of the Uchiha clan got this sick move. Basically it means eternal black flame, where man will dash this flame on you and then you'll just be burning forever. You go, we don't die, you just burn. You get me? So that's where the inspiration for the name comes from. The samples, I can't really remember where I got them from. It's just some dusty ass shit I found online one day. The intro is from a funk record. I can't remember who that is either, but I want it to be a real kind of disturbing, you know, disturbing joint as usual. This is for a project. This is actually on the Chemo project. My mate does beats too, but it's also going to be used for a project with me and my brother Johnny Daya. We have got vocals for this already, sounds ill, bruv, trust me. Fucking ill, lad. Yeah, you got some kind of vocally distorted, pitched down vocals in the background to make it even more sort of fucked up sounding. And a very heavy bass as well, so it booms, you know what I'm saying? So this is Amaterasu Blood. Next beat, the working title was Horrid. This is a joint I done for Theme, featuring Tesla's Ghost and Ray Vendetta. It's called Rapper's Worst Nightmare. You've got a video up there on YouTube by Global Faction if you want to go check that out. It's real nice, real dusty. The sample for this joint is really pitched down. It's an intro to a soul record, but I pitched it down loads and loads and loads and loads, and it just made that basically, like that kind of nice, roadsy, whatever it is, do you know what I mean? Whacked some nice drums on it. Also got this kind of shaker that's in there that's reversing as well. Kind of gives it a bit more of a groove to it, a swing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, jump on YouTube, check that out. Rapper's Worst Nightmare Theme. I think it's on the Thoroughbred EP if I remember rightly. So big shouts to Theme, Tesla's Ghost, Ray Vendetta, and big up Global Faction as well. Paper Cuts. This is taken from the Black Athena album by Cyrus Malachi. The joint actually came together prior to Black Athena. It was an old beat I had lying around. Everyone was in the studio, played it, everyone jumped on it, came together real quick, and yeah, it's featuring Cyrus Malachi, Ray Vendetta, Black Prophet, and Tesla's Ghost. One of my favourite joints off the Black Athena project, personally. Samples. Some of the background stuff that you're hearing there is from like a sample pack that's been resampled and processed a bit to give it a bit more grit. Obviously you got the crackle in there, usual kind of drums, very heavy kick, got a very heavy sub bass in there as well. And the piano, I can't remember where the piano's from, but you also got some string stuff going on in the background there. But yeah, this is Paper Cuts, man. Kind of wanted to, with that background sound, kind of again create an atmosphere, do you know what I mean, of kind of slight edginess, like you don't really know what's coming and when it's coming, sort of thing. So yeah, Paper Cuts. Next joint, working title is Death Whistle. This is a forthcoming single, man. It's featuring Ray Vendetta, Flotex, Capo, Tesla's Ghost, Culture Don, Johnny Data, Cyrus Malachi, someone who I probably forgot. The inspiration for this joint, basically I wanted to have something with a less focus on percussion and more on the sample work. Samples are taken from a Japanese record. I can't remember what one it was, but it's kind of a lot of filtering in this joint, a lot of layering. And the reason it's called Death Whistle at the moment is because it's got this death whistle in the background. But yeah, keep your eyes out for this one. Should be dropping real soon. It's a Death Whistle. Next joint's called Twin Statues. This is another forthcoming thing. This is featuring Tesla's Ghost and Johnny Data. The idea behind this was to have something kind of real hard, real heavy drums. Just something banging. It's got a real rumbly bass line on it, some filtered samples. Yeah, this is forthcoming. The samples from this one, that kind of horn sounding thing, is actually a piano player that we had in on a session once. I kind of processed it a bit and kind of made it turn into that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, ideally I set out to make something real heavy, real banging. So this is Twin Statues. This is another joint, the working title is HL3. I wanted to, with this joint, create something that had like a kind of traditional, like New Yorkie sort of feel. So sampled a piano loop, can't remember where I got it from, pitched it all the way down, and just by chance, this kind of came out, you know what I'm saying? Laid it obviously with crackle, some distortion stuff, compressed the piano loop very heavily as well to bring out all the grit. Got some whispers in there as well for more atmosphere, and also got just like a voice, kind of like a chanty, you can hear in the background there, you know what I mean, but to give it more atmosphere. This is coming out on someone's project, but I can't actually remember whose, so if you hear it, then yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is HL3. Hope you like it, fam. It's called Rancid. This is something that was made for Iron Braids for Verbal Swords 2. Hopefully it's going to make it on there, I'm not too sure. Idea behind this joint, again, I just wanted something dirty and crackly. Piano samples, I can't remember where I got them from. Obviously got a little vocal sample in there, bring it up a little bit. The drums are really, really gritty and lo-fi on this one. One up a crackle. Left the bass line out on this one because I kind of wanted the dirt of the kick drum to be the most prominent thing. But yeah, just wanted a really dirty, crackly joint for Braids to just destroy it, you know what I'm saying? So, shouts to Iron Braids. This is Rancid. I'm going to run you through my basic process of constructing a joint. This is something that is coming out on the forthcoming Flowtex EP mixtape, which I think is called A Concrete Doctrine. So I'm going to run you through this. So as usual, I've got my crackle going on in the background. Just like that. I tend to use the NN-XT sampler in Reason. I like the filters on it. The bandpass filter especially gives a real nice kind of sound. Yeah, so I've got a main sample here. Actually, that's the string sample. Some kind of like weird fart sounding string. You know what I mean? And on that, I've got, let me see, that's actually running through a compressor. That's running through the M-Class compressor. It's been squashed up quite a lot. Then run it through the M-Class equalizer as well. Added a bit of boost around 4K, cut off some of the lower end as well to avoid issues later on when it comes to mastering, you know, like low end rumble and stuff like that. And for the main sample, we've got this here, this piano sample. Again, running through the NN-XT. Probably have got compression. Yeah, again, I'm running it through another M-Class compressor. Something I tend to use a lot in Reason. There is another compressor in Reason as well. It is good, but the M-Class, I find it just, I like to squash shit up real bad to bring out all the dirt in it. And also, another thing that I like to do is layer the main sample. So I've got the original playing like this. And then I have exactly the same underneath, but that's running through like a bandpass filter, which is basically taken off all of the bottom end out of it. I've added some resonance to it as well to kind of make the mid stick out a bit more. Yeah, so layering it, and it kind of works as an EQ as well, if you like. It just brings out stuff, other stuff in it, you know what I mean? Rather than just EQing the main sample, I tend to like to layer stuff up. And then for the break bit there, I've got this sound. Nice little piano vocal thing. And I believe I've got that again layered up. Yeah, that's been layered up again with another bandpass to make it nice and you know, so you get like, you compress it heavily with the main sampler, which brings out all the dirt and all the bottom end and stuff like that, and then whacking on the exact same sample with a bandpass filter on it just kind of gives it a little wave. So that's what I like to do anyway. Right, let's see what else we've got going on in here. Yeah, so again, I've got another piano sample running in the background. I tend to layer my shit a lot. Very rarely that I'll just work with you know, a couple of chops from the same record and that's it. I tend to take a lot of shit off different records, layer them up, filter them up, EQ them, squash them up. I like my shit to have a lot of depth, do you know what I'm saying? Now when it comes to the drums, I use the Redrum drum computer. What I like to do personally is have a redrum for each, you know, aspect of the drum. So here I've got the snare, flat snare. So that's just one snare there, and again, I believe, right, that's running through an EQ, taking off all the bottom end, like I said, to avoid issues later with mastering and stuff like that. I've also got another redrum here, which is running a more stretched out sort of snare. Let me see if that's reverb or no, that's just the sample. But so I have like a nice hard snare, and then underneath it I'll have something that's got a nice reverb tail on it. Or what I like to do is sample the when I sample a snare drum off a record, compress it heavily to bring up that tail, that natural reverb that you get like off a soul joint or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You get this kind of dust, like the sound of the room, basically, like the natural reverb. I like to bring that up a lot in the mix. Onto the kick drum, I've got just the one kick, I believe, in this. Yep, it's just the one kick. Have got that running through the M-Comp compressor yet again. Just a couple of, about 4 decibels worth of gain reduction on that, on a soft knee setting with a wide open attack. It just kind of brings it out a bit more. Let me just bypass that quickly. Yeah, so you can hear there, it's a little bit flatter, and then with the compression on, obviously there's a little bit of gain I put on it as well, but it does give it more punch, more meat. So that's the drum section. I've got another snare actually, there you go. Again, that's 2 snares running there. Let me play them separate for you. Stop it, man. Right, another one that's got a nice tail, reverb tail, and another snappy one to, you know, basically got 4 or 5 different snares all together, leveled out right, will give you a nice sounding snare. I like to have I like to have reverb tails, you know, reverb on my snare, but I don't like it to be a, you know, I very rarely use an actual reverb. I'd rather either do the technique that I'm saying there, or sometimes I'll actually sample the air on a record, if that makes sense. Just the bits in between the drums, and again run that through redrum. Sometimes use samples to kind of fade it in and fade it out to make it work a bit better. Right, now onto the bass. Run it through the NNXT again, and you'll be surprised, but I'm using the M-Class compressor again, squashing this up quite bad. This is about 8 decibels worth of reduction on a soft knee setting. Let's just turn that off quickly. It's quite subtle, but you can hear there, maybe, I don't know if you can hear it, but the compression brings out a little bit more of the lower mid-range in that bass. Also, I've got that running through one of my favourite machines in Reason, which is the Scream 4 on the tape setting. I've used the cut section as well to boost up the lows. Haven't really touched the mids and highs. I don't really tend to use the body section in this, but Scream 4 is a distortion unit. It's got I don't know, about 10 presets or 10 settings in there that you can mess about with. They've both got 2 individual controls. For example, like tape, this has got speed and compression settings, so you just mess about with them till you get the sound that you want. So it's a distorted bass, like if you turn it off, it's practically non-existent, do you know what I'm saying? It just sounds like a weak, like a little pussy fart or something. Turn it back on and you got a bass, yeah. Right. And also, that is running through the M-Class equalizer. What I've done there is cut off everything above 5k, and I've boosted it around, where is this? Around 94.7 hertz. I'll give it a real big boost there to bring out, you know, the kind of boomy element to it. Little Vulcan there. Also, let's have a look at the mastering section, if I've done anything with this. No, there's no mastering on it, but I do use the mastering tools within Reason. You've got a equalizer, stereo imager, compressor, and a maximizer. Basically the same compressor I use on instruments and the same one I use on pretty much everything within Reason. You've got a maximizer in there to boost your sound, to make sure it's nice and loud. Stereo imager to sort out any kind of stereo phasing issues, and the M-Class equalizer. So let me play this from the start for you. far as arrangement for the joint goes, got this little break bit here, kind of throws it off a little bit, do you know what I'm saying? I don't really like my stuff to be monotonous, if you like, do you know what I'm saying? I try to add little bits in here and there to switch it up. So yeah, that's basically my process within reason. Aside from that, I'll use SoundForge, like this program right here is a really good sound editing program just to cut up samples, you know, basic stuff. But yeah, that's basically how I put a joint together, and let me play it through for you. Without SoundForge in the background this time, that's a real professional of me.